what's going on, everyone, and welcome to another Panel B podcast. I'm your host, Alex Jankowski. With me, as always, my plaid brother, Julian Edlow, and my
Bucks didn't get the memo.
non-plaid
No.
cousin, Steve Buchanan.
Distant cousin.
How we doing?
Doing okay, I guess.
He's really salty.
Mm-hmm.
Real salty.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, despite that raucous greeting from my panelists here on the Panel B podcast, we are going to talk a lot about the NFL and the MLB. There's a lot of sports happening at this very moment. We have two Game 5s, which doesn't have the same ring as Game 7s, but trust me, they're just as important in Major League Baseball later on this evening, so we'll hit on those. We, of course, will give you our much-anticipated picks, 2 picks each, for this upcoming week in the NFL season. We will also touch a little bit more in depth on the Thursday night thriller that I'm sure is to be between the Saquon-less New York Giants and the New England Patriots. We also have a real fun all-time stack to get to as well. Producer Matt is back. He is back in the control room, so we will actually be able to do a stack. We're not able to physically. Look at that!
Oh, look at that! Oh,
There he
my
is.
goodness!
That's right. It's another guy with a beard.
The man behind the curtain.
For those watching,
Yes.
everyone else is just wondering what's going on.
It's like Panel B actually has meaning. All right. We are going to start with that Thursday night game. Let's talk a little Giants. Let's talk a little Patriots. Let's talk a little excitement, maybe. Daniel Jones gets a loss, and now it's just like, all right, they're going to get slaughtered.
It would have been fun to see. I was rooting for the Giants to be 3-0 with Daniel Jones coming into New England for a Thursday night game, just to have the hype before it. Now, we probably think even if he beats the Vikings, the Patriots still probably smash him down at home on a short week.
Would the spread have been 14.5 instead of 16.5?
Yes, probably. That's a very good guess. But it would have been more fun to talk about. It would have been more, had that pregame hype until Daniel Jones gets picked off in the first quarter and throws a pick 6 or whatever, and then it all goes away. But the big thing for this game is the totals dropping. Is the spread too big at 16.5? Because the weather in Boston the last few days has been really windy. It's supposed to stay super windy for Thursday night. It's supposed to stay rainy for Thursday night. This could be an ugly game that the Patriots are content winning 17-6, and you got your under, but that's not a cover, not even close.
Yeah, this would be one of the times where I'm actually looking at the weather. I think weather is so unbelievably overrated when it comes to football. But we have like this 3-day slow-moving
when you
nor'easter.
have 2 weak-arm quarterbacks and Tom Brady and Daniel Jones.
Wind is more important than rain. That's the number one thing.
So I'll actually be looking at the weather for this one. But this game just screams, Sony Michel, a captain, Patriots defense.
Sony Michel.
Yeah, why not?
Could he maybe break a tackle?
Who cares? I mean,
What's the price difference between Michelle and Pat Stee on
let's
Showdown?
see. Yeah, I'm on Showdown. So $7,600 for Michelle, $6,200 for the Patriots defense.
Damn.
Why,
I thought there would maybe be a little more of a gap. I kind of want to captain Pat Stee.
Yeah, which rightfully so. I mean, you look at their game log, it's been absolutely ridiculous. 14, 25, 11, 37.
They've been like
10.
one of the best weapons in fantasy, or for like season long if you've had them. They have won you a couple of weeks like single-handedly almost.
Yeah. But so many injuries on the Giants coming into this game. Sterling Shepard not looking like he's going to play. Gallman probably not going to play. Evan Ingram maybe out of this game too as well. So this is going to be
Saquon.
Saquon.
But he had been targeting this game for his return. He practiced on Friday. So,
but especially with the weather, there's no way.
Maybe they also are going to wait and see if they're going to be 3-0 with Daniel Jones coming into this game, make it a little more exciting.
True.
And then we're talking about maybe 13.5 if Saquon plays.
Obviously you don't want to target against this Patriots secondary, but Golden Tate, Darius Slayton are just going to get.
They're just going to be so cheap.
So much volume.
Yeah, especially Tate, a little bit more of a short route runner at times, a slot guy. The Giants are going to have to throw at some point in this game. You would think, regardless of the weather.
Here's a question: Do the Patriots attempt, given the wind, given the special teams, do they attempt a single field goal or extra point in this game?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say
you
there's no way they go the
You
whole.
wouldn't just go for 2 the whole time?
I would have been going for 2 all season. Like, they have a fantastic, well-rounded offense and a bad kicker at all stages of the season, no matter Nugent, Jankowski, whoever. They're going to convert more than 50. So I would have been going for 2 all season. I would have been going for it on 4th and 2 or shorter all season from inside my own 50 and kick it on your 4th and 5s when you're in range. But I'm not the coach. Some other guy.
Yeah, but this is just
smarter than me.
Such an ugly game between the
This
weather,
is gonna be an ugly
all the injuries. Like, for the Patriots is this their first primetime game? I think it is.
They started the season on Sunday Night
Oh,
Football.
right. Yep.
Steelers.
Yep.
But then, since then, it's been Dolphins, Jets, Bills, Redskins. So, like,
right. Yeah, but this is
So what? Wait a minute. You were gonna lump those 4 teams together, were you?
No, I didn't. Sorry about
Are all
that.
those 4 teams equal? What's the
no,
combined
there's
record
one.
of those?
There's one much better
What's the
team.
combined
I think
record
the
of those 4
Bills
teams?
are the 3rd or 4th best team in the AFC.
whoa.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I don't think. I also still don't think that that's touting much, given
The Ravens,
The drop.
the Colts
Yeah,
are
once
up
you
in
think about
there.
it. 'Cause
The
Patriots
Browns
teams-
aren't.
No.
The Steelers aren't.
Jesus.
All these teams that we thought would be up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd put the Texans there as well. So we go
The Texans, that's your top 5,
Yeah.
whatever order you want to do it in.
Texans are fringe though. Like, they had a really good performance last week, but before that,
Big
did
game
they
in
look?
Kansas City that we'll find out a
If
lot.
they
Yeah.
face any team with a defense, they're in serious trouble
Yeah,
because they're not going to be able to move the ball consistently.
or protect Watson.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's going to be where the issue arises. All right, let's roll into the NFL then. We'll hit on MLB a little bit later, but let's roll right into our picks then. What are we looking at this upcoming week in the National Football League? Each of us makes 2 picks. I was close to mandating that at least one of everyone's picks has to do with the Redskins-Dolphins game in some regard.
Oh, we're not going to do that?
Well, I mean, I did it, so I mean, if you did it too, then maybe that'd be fun.
I mean, I didn't want to.
Because then we could have something in common, kind of like how Julian and I got the flannel thing going, and you're just this like black sheep.
I'm never going to be on that train. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. We could be in on the, like, we discuss our picks beforehand, and then we're like, oh, we're in the same line of thinking here, and
Fine.
then let Julian flounder with his 15-team parlay. Speaking of which,
3 this week.
well, all right, tease no more. Give
Awesome.
the people what they maybe kind of want.
Heavy favorite money line parlay. It is not going away. I will not get discouraged, and by the time this football season is over, it will be profitable.
What do you got, like 13 more weeks left for it to work?
Patriots first half money line. We get that at minus 670 rather than minus 1115. That basically cuts those odds in half.
Wow.
We need them to be leading going into the locker room. They played maybe their worst half of the season against the Washington Redskins and led at 12-7 at halftime before dismantling them in the second half. So the Patriots are going to win this game. But you can cut those odds in half by just taking the first half money line at minus 670. So that's where you start the parlay. It's going to start on Thursday night. You got to get it in early. Then we got 2 spots on Sunday. Baltimore Ravens minus 530 on the money line, hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. The Ravens defense is overrated. If this moves to 12 or 13, I don't think Baltimore should be favored by that much. But are they going to win this game at home against the Bengals? Yes. And it's about fading spots. The Cowboys are in a bounce-back spot. The Jets, even with Darnold, how's he going to be? He's going to need a nap at halftime. He's coming back from whatever we're at, over like a month and a half of mono. Cowboys, minus 335 on the money line. So you put those 3 together. That's Patriots first half line, Baltimore Ravens money line, Dallas Cowboys money line. You're at minus 129 on the parlay.
Wow. You love it. Oh, wait, sorry. Actually, I forgot you have another one.
Right. That was only one.
Yeah,
And it's going to be like, oh,
All right, so I was really torn between this one. I've been going Patriots team total opponent unders every week, and it's been so successful. I was hoping for 13.5 on the Giants. It's 12.5 on the Giants. I'm going to take the under 12.5 on the Giants. I don't care. Like, what? Did both of you pick that?
No, I knew you were going to pick that, though.
We were gonna lay
I
money
laid
down.
some heavy odds on that being the case.
Yeah. So, but
So
there's another spot that I like that. I don't want to. I keep doing the same thing every week, so I don't want to use it as my like. I could be cheap. I do need to come back here with my
That's your
record,
shtick.
so that makes me want to use
hold on,
the
let's
Patriots
break down that
to
theory
come
for a
back.
second. I have a bad record because the picks that I'm making aren't working. So what I'm going to do is keep going back to the same
That one
things
has hit
that I'm
every
doing.
week. It's been the heavy favorite money line parlay that's been letting me down, and I went right back to that one as well.
Definition of insanity.
The other play that I really like, and it was at 48.5, is the under on the London game, the Panthers Bucks game. It's an earlier game this week at 9:30 a.m. We saw what the jet lag did to the Bears last week. Although they finally got some points together, they still only
I think
totaled
that Chase
45.
Daniel had a role in that as well.
True. They still only totaled 45 in that game. These teams went way under when they met in Week 2 on Thursday Night Football. They're meeting soon after in a divisional game. It's at 47 now. Obviously, there was a better number earlier in the week, but I like this one a lot on the under. And
So you're just
wanted to bring that up, but I need to
but
play
it's
it
not
as
gonna
safe as
affect your
possible.
record.
I need to play it as safe as possible. So my official second play is going to be Giants team total under 12.5.
Well, I at least appreciate you taking a stand there.
I mean, if you're trying to play it safe, you're not playing parlays. That's what you tell me all the time, off the air. You coward.
Well, that's what you do because you play like underdog parlays.
Yeah, because I'm trying to win money.
Technically,
And underdog, we've gone through this so many times. When I do underdog parlays, it's 2 teams. It's not like a 5 banger like you're throwing out there.
all right. So the under on the game in London is -110. The under on the Giants team total is -113. The under on this 3-team parlay is -129. Technically, it's the safest of the 3.
Technically, it is.
And it's going to hit because the heavy favorite money parlay, money line parlay doesn't fail in the long term. It's had a rough stretch.
Right.
I'm going to deem that we've spent too much time on this segment. Steven, please provide us your picks.
I'm going to go fast. New Orleans Saints plus 1.5 doesn't seem right. I think these Jaguars are getting way too respect right now. Ramsey is practicing supposedly today, so that does, add another layer into that. But
The test results came back on his back.
yeah, he's feeling
Turns out
good.
it's fine.
Yeah,
Shocker.
bearing the weight of all that drama has really brought him down. But plus 1.5 just seems a bit silly here. I'm definitely taking the points for the Saints here, so I will take that one. And I'm also going to go with Ravens -11 against the Bengals. Obviously, Julian is a fan of the Ravens as well. I'm not crazy about their defense. I'm not crazy about this team right now, but I'm definitely not crazy about the Bengals when it comes to anything.
11 points,
I think the
divisional
spread's
game.
too big in that game.
Well, that's fine. That's why you didn't pick the pick, and I did.
Yeah.
So we'll see, Mr. Cold Streak.
I played it safe.
I mean, I should wear a sweatshirt right now because I can just feel the cold exuding off your body.
See, this is
Everyone can. Everything I touch.
the best part about flannel is that, you don't even, feel this.
No.
All right. See, that's why you're not on the bandwagon. Oh, see,
Not
there it is. Yeah. Very cozy. I'm
What
warm.
is that watch?
This is a watch. Apologies for the listeners who are listening on the audio version. It
Bucks
a
is
wooden
huge
watch.
sucker for watches.
It's a wooden watch.
I'm just a huge sucker for Alex's extenuous watch collection.
Okay.
There he is.
What? There's my picks.
Did you get your other pick in? Oh, yeah, Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it. I think 11's too much.
Fine.
For a team that runs the ball all the time. Okay, here we go. Mine. 2 underdogs. I like to cover the spread. I won't parlay them because, although
they're not heavy favorite money lines.
the odds on it are quite well, I'm going to take a stand on Dolphins Redskins. I am taking the Dolphins plus 3.5 at home. These 2 teams are terrible, so anything can happen. Any outcome is possible. Give me the Kevin Garnett gif. Anything is possible, so I will go with the underdog here then, which helps cover more of the possibilities. So I'll take plus 3.5, the Dolphins at home. Come on, Rosen. I wanted the Bills to draft you over Josh Allen.
Ugh.
I still stand by that. I still think he'd be a better quarterback on the Bills. Don't let me down here. The rest of the team, too. Do something ever once. And then the other one, excuse me. So, yeah, Bills bye week. So I'm just, going all in on the AFC East here. I like the Jets +7 at home. The return of Sam Darnold.
Come on.
He moved the ball better than Tom Brady did against the Bills defense when he actually got to play. He's healthy now. The Cowboys, I think
are great.
I think they're a little overrated. Excuse me.
They definitely are overrated.
They haven't beat anyone of consequence so far this year. They're going to go into the Meadowlands to face a Jets team that's rejuvenated. Sam Darnold back there on the sidelines. Robbie Anderson's finally going to be a factor. Lev Bell will be back. Maybe they don't win this game. I'm not taking them on the money line here, +300, but +7. Go with the Jets.
Wow. You didn't like
And you guys can't say anything because I'm the only one who's still undefeated in my picks.
I mean, for what, 3 weeks?
Yep.
Whatever. Congratulations. 6-0.
I'd be firmly in the hunt in the playoff picture. I'd be in the little pencil graphic if the playoffs started today, 1 seed, home field.
Oh, boy. You're one of those people.
And I'm hitching it to the Dolphins and the Jets.
Right. That's you got a good thing going.
Yes. Steven, if you know anything about me, it's that I take myself very seriously.
Right.
And that these are hard and fast. All right. Again, let's talk a little bit about the baseball.
Yeah, let's talk about baseball.
Let's talk about baseball.
Well,
what do you got to say? You got some things to say about the baseball?
I don't even just have something to say. I actually have to set up a set behind me. So you're going to have to take over from it. I have something to set up.
Okay.
Yep. So.
All right, folks, we're going to talk about all 3 games that we got coming up in the next 2 days here. We got Cardinals and Braves, Flaherty versus Fultonevich, Nationals, Dodgers, Strasburger, Buehler. I'm not going to people aren't going to listen to me if I just keep doing that. I assume this is about making fun of Bukes whiffing terribly on the Twins. So if that's where you want to start, Julian, feel free.
It seems like we're having a candle-lit
no,
vigil.
we don't let the effect fool you here. Let's talk Cardinals-Braves first. These 2 guys faced off in Game 2. The Braves won 3-0, low-scoring game. The over-under is 7.5. Is that kind of the play here? Because it's kind of hard to pick between these 2 teams, I think, overall.
Well, I don't know if it. I kind of like the Cardinals. If you want me to pick between the teams, I think that.
Sure.
I think that they have the pitching advantage, and I think that it didn't play out in Game 2, but that doesn't mean you can't go back to it in Game 5. Like, Fulte had a great game there. He didn't have a good game in his two starts against the Cardinals during the regular season. I think that has a better chance of being a one-off than Flaherty being able to maintain some consistency. He still held them to Atlanta to 1 run throughout the majority of that start, and then it kind of fell apart at the end. So I kind of like St. Louis here. But in terms of these Game 5s, yeah, the under is usually the lean because just like we see in the wild card games, you can't plan for Game 1 if you don't win Game 5. So you're going to have to use everything you have to keep these games, to keep your opponent as low as possible. Even if you're already down, 3-1 in the 8th inning, you're still playing for 0 runs all the time. I just think the unders in the Game 5s are always the first place to look.
Welcome back, Steven.
Thank you. So, we were talking off the air that, maybe this black polo had some meaning.
Always wear black to a funeral.
If you're watching here, I set up a nice candlelit vigil behind me. And in this time of mourning, I turn to the good book to try to, bring myself back to level because I was a big backer of the Twins. They let me down. They let my bankroll down. So I thought I had to get some inspiration. So if you don't mind,
good book?
I'd like to read something here. This came from the good book. It's a passage I forget, but here we go. With each passing day in the garden of Target Field, the sun did shineth brilliantly, and the warmth of the verdurous moss did comfort the feet of Rocco Baldelli. In the season of the playoffs, the Twins exclaims, "We shall not fear the reaper, neither under the sun, nor the wind, nor the rain. But now the brood of the Yankees bestoweth the worst sins of thrice times upon the Twins, as they toiled in the fine fields with loss after loss after loss. And while the Yankees peasants will hath the want to celebrate victory, they will repent their desirable feelings with the looming shortcomings in the American League Championship Series." Hell hath no fury like a gambler scorned. Amen.
That was beautiful.
Thank you very much.
TLDR, don't start an Uber driver in Game 2 against a team that would have set the MLB record in home runs if they hit 2 more than the Minnesota Twins.
Still first place. Thank you for the time.
Regular season don't matter. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Was beautiful.
Thank you very much.
I often bemoan our lack of preparedness for this podcast, and that went above and beyond anything I possibly could have imagined.
Thank you very much.
I feel like that might help end my cold streak. I
Because
don't know
it was
why.
so beautiful?
It's just kind of have to do something.
Because,
you're
you're feeling low, but you're not that low.
Right.
Maybe.
You're not feeling
I don't know
that
what
low.
it was.
It's been a long
And I just saw a tweet while you were doing that Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram, and Wayne Gallman have all been ruled out by the Giants for Thursday Night Football officially.
So instead of listening to the words that I constructed, you were on Twitter.
Yes.
There are lessons, Julian, in these words. There are lessons.
Yeah, I wasn't really listening, but it sounded nice.
You know, it's no wonder that
And
you
it
have
felt like it was ending my cold streak, so I'm going to go with that.
Stephen, on this journey, on this self-enlightening quest that you've found over these past couple days, have you found any indication as to which of the 3 or the 6 teams who will be competing in these next 2 days that you like to advance to the championship series?
I like the Nationals a lot. If you're looking to throw some money down on this game, I like the Nationals money line and the under on this game. Steven Strasburg has just been absolutely phenomenal. Like, he hasn't allowed more than 4 runs in a start. So it's basically the almost 2 months from now in August. So now we have him going up against the Dodgers, and Walker Buehler has been by far their best pitcher, especially in the playoffs. But we've seen a number of hiccups from Buehler, especially recently. The month of September is actually statistically one of his worst months of the season. So I feel good about the Nationals. I think as long as Strasburg is doing well in this game, they're going to keep him out there as long as possible because, quite frankly, they want to hide that bullpen again. Strasburg can't come out of the bullpen this game. So you want to have him go on as long as he can. But I like the Nationals a lot. I think they have a legitimate chance to take down the Dodgers here, which would be a massive upset because the Dodgers are so heavily favored and basically one of the favorite to go to the World Series from the National League side. So it really would change the landscape overall. But that's what I'm feeling right now. I really like the Nationals tonight.
Sounds good.
Can't argue with that, but I've had the Dodgers to win the NL for a while, so I'm just riding with that.
Cold streak continues. Clearly.
Well, this bet was placed before the cold streak started, so technically it's...
So it was alluding to the cold streak.
Any love for
it
the
was a
Rays?
pretty long time ago.
Love for the Rays? Went from getting almost no hit by Verlander to actually scoring against him. Obviously, maybe home.
It is an interesting spot for the Rays. Like plus 230 on glass now is really good, especially like Snell should be able to throw out of the pen. It's very intriguing, but going against Garrett Cole right now would be pretty difficult to do.
Well, what I thought was interesting is that I was surprised I didn't roll with Miley last night. And not because, if you're choosing between Justin Verlander and Miley.
Well, he pitched in relief in Game 3.
Which he did. But
oh, so you're saying even...
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously you're always going to go with Verlander in that spot. But if you look at the numbers, the splits for the Rays between righties and lefties, they were so much worse against lefties.
Right.
So if you have the chokehold on the series and want to close it out, Miley to me made the most sense. So if you don't pitch him in Game 3, have him start in Game 4. Like, I felt like they had such the advantage here. Verlander had never pitched on less than 4 days rest before. He only did it once, but it was because the playoff game got rained out, whatever. So it was like a funky thing, really. But the urgency was too high when they had the advantage. Like, they very well could have thrown Miley out there, set themselves up nicely for the American League Championship Series, because now going into that, it's a bit of a mess.
Well, I mean, I would throw your words back in your face. You can't plan for Game 1 if you don't win Game 5. And I think if you had the option to go Verlander on short rest, which then opened up Garrett Cole in Game 5 on regular rest.
Right.
Whereas if you go with Miley and you lose because Wade Miley's not as good a pitcher as Justin Verlander, then you got to go. Obviously, you would go Verlander in Game 5, which you feel good about. Yeah, but you don't then get two of those horses in this series.
No, and I understand, but just saying just playing the splits.
Sure.
You're ahead in the series. You're not trying to come from behind. If you're trying to come from behind, yes, Verlander is the answer.
Yeah.
But if you are up in the series, I don't see why they couldn't have pitched Miley. But here we are.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to do anything that takes away Cole from pitching Game 5, and you still could pitch Cole Game 5, but then it's like, well, why did you start Verlander Game 1 and it didn't even make it back to him at any point in time, which would be ridiculous. I don't think I would ever say, regardless of the score in series, why would you pitch Wade Miley over Justin Verlander? I just think it's overthinking it. Verlander didn't. It's easier to say when Verlander didn't work with the 3 runs he let up in the first inning, but if Houston started Wade Miley over Verlander, I think they would have gotten extremely ridiculed if it didn't go well. I guess you look like a genius if it goes right and you win the series.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man. Props to the people for actually showing up in Tampa Bay as well. Just want to put that out there. It actually looked nice. You could actually hear the crowd.
O.J. Howard was in the crowd.
That's right. Caught a foul ball. Good to see him still running routes and getting targets. And you could tell even with the Rays players, I was like, this is new. Let's get to our stack, though. Most fun segment.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Absolutely love it. We are going with guilty pleasures, all-time stack of guilty pleasures. Now, we define a guilty pleasure. It's not just I like something that's really stupid and everyone thinks I'm stupid, but I still really like it and I'm vocal about it. So, Julian, no heavy favorite money line parlays. It has to be things
that was my flex.
Well, wow. We can debate, and I can say why I don't think it's a guilty pleasure after the fact. But anyways, so here are the categories. We have, obviously, like team or athlete that you like to bet on is a pretty good one. We have to find some kind of angle here to talk about. And then on top of that, we're also going to hit on TV show or like media in general, food, guilty pleasure food, and then, of course, a flex, which you can use anything for.
I'm thinking my flex now.
All right, Bukes, we'll start with you then. Maybe it's going out and comparison shopping fake candles. Where'd you buy those?
I'm not saying where I bought it.
Okay. No free ads.
Mart Wall. Does that work okay?
How do you do Mart?
All right, so we're going to start with food?
Start wherever you want.
I'm going to start with food. A roast beef 3-way on an onion roll.
What is a 3-way?
What? Seriously?
Do you know what the toppings?
Yeah. You know what that means?
Lettuce, tomato, onion.
No. Mayo, barbecue sauce, and cheese.
Never would have guessed that.
What? We all live in the same area.
Barbecue sauce, and cheese.
Why are you giving me weird looks? We all live in the same area. This is like...
Is this just like a beef and cheese at Arby's? Is that...
No. It's a roast beef sandwich 3-way on an onion roll.
I have no idea what the...
You know what? I'm starting to figure something out here. I think you guys talk before the show, and whatever Steve says, let's just crap all over it, no matter how good it is.
Bukes, we literally came up with our own bets for what Julian's bet. We did that to Julian.
So you guys do it about me too.
No,
we got to start
I
doing
don't
it
see
about
him
Alex.
until he comes in. Until he walks in the podcast studio.
You guys can slack each other.
I would probably go, I don't know. It's just
whatever. That's my goddamn food.
Right.
TV show.
Is that something that you're ashamed of telling people though? Then it's not a guilty pleasure.
I was just so surprised you guys had no idea what that meant. We live in Massachusetts. I like Massachusetts jargon.
Yeah, but I didn't grow up in Massachusetts.
But you live here.
I did.
You live across the street from a roast beef establishment.
Yeah, I do.
And you have no idea what that means.
What's the thing in Massachusetts with roast beef and seafood places? That's always confused me. Why are these
that's
two
a thing. That's a North Shore thing.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just a thing. Have you had it?
Yeah, many times.
It's great,
I've had
right?
many of them.
I prefer the fried seafood when I go to them, but occasionally I'll get a roast beef sandwich.
I've never gotten both things from there at the same time.
Why?
I'll always get...
Because they're two completely different moods for me. I'm eating seafood. I'm in a seafood mood. I'm eating roast beef. It's
Yeah, that's when I'm feeling fancy.
That's when I know I'm close to a bathroom.
You've ever had a roast beef sandwich with side of calamari? Wonderful.
All right, maybe we'll go on the road next week. 3-way. Is that how you order it? And they'll know?
Yes.
That's how you're
if I went to the guy and said roast beef 3-way, they'd be like,
lettuce, tomato.
No. Mayo, barbecue sauce, and cheese.
Of course.
Of course.
I'm going to talk about my TV show,
Sure.
90 Day Fiancé. I
Never even
absolutely
heard
love
of it.
that show. You know what I'm talking about? You're married.
So am I, but I've never heard of the
Yeah,
show.
but you don't even know what a three-way is. You must know about it.
Well, now we're getting.
There's a show about that. Wait, so the show is called 90 Day Three-Way? Explain this to me.
90 Day Fiancé.
Is that the one like you just at the end of the day you got to marry the person no matter what?
They're from a foreign country.
So we respect the institution of marriage. Oh, they're from
a foreign country.
Oh,
They
man.
fly
Mail
over to
order brides.
America. They're on a K1 visa, and they have to get married within 90 days.
Is this like on some illegal stream and it's like,
No, it's on TLC.
oh, okay.
It's actually
the learning
it's
channel.
really entertaining.
Look at you learn. Okay. All right. That's legit. That's a legit guilty pleasure.
Your wife
'cause
doesn't watch
I've
that?
never heard of it. No, I've never heard of it. Never seen
That's
it.
so boring.
We're so bored because we don't have time to sit down and
Buck's
watch
at home on the
TLC.
couch, hammering his roast beef sandwich with mayo, barbecue sauce, and cheese on it,
Yeah.
just drizzling down his chest as he watches
turn that
90 Day
up.
Fiance.
No shirt, topless, and I got my candles.
Well, you can't waste the barbecue sauce. Yes,
Right.
that back up.
That's why I have a dog.
Oh God! All right, keep going.
Team to gamble on. I found this is just recency bias, but I found myself betting
Twins.
on.
The Twins.
No,
No,
the
it's
Atlanta
gonna be the
Falcons.
Twins.
It's gonna be the Falcons.
Everybody
Maybe
knows
the
it's
Falcons,
the Twins.
yeah.
We just had a vigil for them, so we know it's the Twins. That didn't go
Yeah,
so
we
well.
didn't. We attended
You were in
one.
attendance. Team to gamble on. I found myself betting on the Pirates or against the Pirates a lot. They had a lot.
Recency bias because I don't think they've played in a couple weeks.
Well, I'm talking about this season.
Okay.
All right. You're
Larger
very
sample
feisty
size.
today. You had your soup, like you feel regenerated.
That's a great soup. Great soup.
Flex is food again, because I'm starting to get a little fat. Is calamari. So it's actually kind of with the I'm serious. It's kind of with
full circle.
One-stop
does.
shop.
It does. That's what I'm saying. So there you go.
Apologies for
I
not
don't know if I see the
defining
shame
guilty
in
pleasure
that.
enough because I don't. Yeah, like you like calamari, cool. I like calamari.
Yeah, but it's not like something like you go home and you're gonna, hey honey, what's for dinner? She goes calamari, and you go, of course, should have thought of that. Like it's like
Are you saying this is the scenario at your house? Like,
I guess
goes
my
at your
food is
house.
the only one that's not really like a guilty pleasure. Like I don't have any food that I would be really embarrassed to say that I like.
bagels.
oh, no.
Is that embarrassing to like bagels? I also didn't get that nickname from eating bagels. Like Aiden on our video team
All
eats
right,
more
nothing
bagels
off
than
screen.
me.
Nobody knows about that inside joke. Andrew Kashner, go.
All right. So food, I admit I don't really have. So
on the
barbecue,
screen.
barbecue is my thing. Texas Southern barbecue, like the whole platter.
But that's not a guilty pleasure.
It's not a guilty pleasure. So I guess my angle on it was like I can never get one thing. So I always go and get like the platter, and they're like, all right, what's your 3 meats and your 3 sides? And then it'll come with 2 sets of silverware because it's supposed to be for 2 people.
Okay.
And I'm like, no,
All
I
right, so pigging out at barbecue.
Yeah.
That is, all right.
I'm like, no, it's just for me. I just couldn't decide between the ribs, the pulled pork, and the burnt
The
ends.
roast beef
so,
three-way.
Yeah.
I'm the one you guys are crapping on.
I mean,
Southern food.
well, no, it's a specific thing. Like Southern barbecue, 3 things on a platter.
We get it.
It also comes with
Indecisiveness.
3
All right.
sides, which makes it even
It's kind of like
worse.
why you need parlays because you can't just pick one team and go with it.
Correct. Although that's different because then I would bet
all
them on
right,
the
all right.
spreads.
I don't need an explanation.
TV show, The Challenge on MTV.
Okay.
That's been around for a long time. The personalities keep getting worse and worse as every season progresses.
Show's
Yet
so
I
bad.
still find myself following along with it intently because it just has my entertainment for some reason.
Team or athlete to gamble on.
We could be here for a while.
This could be a lot of things. I guess we'll go with the Miami Marlins because they're just so bad, and I bet on them so many times last season. If you get them on the right time at the right plus money,
It pays for the next 5 times.
sometimes it can cover you for your next 4 losses if you win a nice Marlins bet. What's happening?
Okay, we've got some breaking news. Case Keenum will be starting for the Redskins.
Great. The carousel goes on.
I'm surprised by that, though. I really thought it was going to be Haskins.
But they said it wasn't going to be Haskins, so.
Hey, I got a meeting in 15 minutes. Let's wrap this up.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
All right. Barbecue, the challenge, the Marlins, and flex was obviously going to be heavy favorite moneyline parlays, but now it's going to change to trolling Adam Kaufman on Twitter.
Sure.
I really, really enjoy it. His tweets are terrible. I founded the cough drop, which I'm pretty proud of.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really fun.
All right. Favorite pastimes.
Let's hear yours.
Oh, they're going to be pretty lousy now, given I don't know. There's no barbecue involved at all. So my guilty pleasure food are like my kids' chewy granola bars. All right.
That's not nice.
All right, we're clearly operating under different planes of what a guilty pleasure is, because that's something that, I won't admit, I ate the whole box of them, but I ate the whole box of them, and I got to explain to my kid, why he has to have applesauce again in his lunchbox.
All right.
So that's there.
So that's why you're feeling guilty.
TV show, I think we all kind of hit on the same vein. I went with Jersey Shore.
Yeah,
I went to college in New Jersey, and will do anything in my power to talk about how much I hated the state of New Jersey. But I did watch that show a lot, and
that's fair. We all did.
Team to bet on for me, it's the Bills' opponents. A lot of people obviously like to bet on the team that they root for. I'm the opposite. I will always bet on the other team. I look at it as a win-win scenario that either way, the Bills win and then I'm happy, or they lost, which happens a lot, and then I profited off of it in some regards. So that's that one. And then flex is, this happened to me recently at a really long car ride by myself, and my flex is insanely loud car singing because I had to keep myself awake. I probably don't strike, I'm not usually the most vocal person, but I belted out quite a few choice numbers there. Sirius XM 2K channel. I just know, every song. Even
Laffy Taffy's on there.
Come on.
I think that's from the 2000s.
It is.
You suddenly realize you know the words to every Pink and Kelly Clarkson song. You had no idea, and
that might be you.
I hit those octaves, man. I hit them. No one else is there ever to know it, but I hit them.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Try roast beef three-way, will you?
I'm trying to think of a guilty pleasure food,
Well, apparently it's a big array for you.
Yeah, because I was trying to think of something that's embarrassing. So it's
It doesn't have to be embarrassing. It's just something that you feel guilty in pleasuring yourself.
Oh God, Bukes, you just can't control
That's
your
good.
mouth.
Odds and lines are subject to change. Please see website for actual odds, or if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and would like some help, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Thanks for tuning in to another very concise, very structured, very informative Panel B podcast for Julian Edlow, Steve Buchanan, who's still sitting in his chair, by the way. That's in and of itself a win. Candle's still got some battery life left.
I keep him in there.
I'm Alex Jankowski, and we will mercifully see you next time.